Well, oh my God. Back hurts. We have to do back workouts. I'm flipping. I'm tired. I'm tired, but I was trying to find a email confirmation on my phone, and it took me 30 minutes to find it. All to realize that I was using the wrong phone in the first place because the other one didn't even have the email that I needed. I just yeah, going around my elbow to get to my fucking ass just now. So, but now we're back. I have a little bit of coffee here, a little bit of creatine. Let me know if the music is too loud, you guys. And then a little bit of protein in here, some water to dilute it all. We had 20 ounces of water before we had the caffeine. It's 11:09. Oh, I should get my glasses. We're starting on a wow. Wow. Oh, just spilled this everywhere. Starting on a slow pace, we'll start at 1.8 and then we'll just increase the speed. This might be a little loud. Hopefully that's okay. Let me just check for sound chat. Let's check for sound. Oh gosh. And we haven't been on live like this probably since probably a month. Let's double check how we sound. Let's see. Good morning. Hey, what's going on? Let's see. Good morning. Hey, what's going on? This is gonna die though. What's going on, chat? What you guys doing today? What you guys getting into? Right now, we're going to do a little bit of a workout. Appreciate you guys for the like. Okay. I feel like I can't really hear the music. That's all right. Okay. I know it's doubling up on the audio. All right, chat. I got you guys. I have a screen where I can see you guys. A little coffee to start. And I might actually switch the I might switch the phones out. Let's see. And if anything, I'll just charge it whenever this one dies. Appreciate you guys for the like. Okay. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see good. Right there. getting a bit of a workout. We're gonna walk a little bit. Appreciate you guys for the likes. What are you guys doing today? Appreciate you, chat. Mhm. Today's like one of the first days that I've finally been able to feel better from surgery. So we're finally getting back to our routine. We've had a little bit of coffee to start the day, a little bit of creatine, some water, 20 ounces of water. So we have that drink. We haven't had any food yet. Um, I don't really call it fasting since I'm already having protein powder, but to be technical, but we haven't had a meal yet. We'll probably eat in an hour around 12 o'clock. Yeah, but to finish filming a short video. I did a little bit of recording before I got on live. What does that mean? Markets open at 5 kids. Free. What does that mean? What does that even mean, dude? I appreciate you guys for the likes. Thank you guys for the taps. Okay. And also just being able to like hold the phone that way I can track some of my steps. And try to get as many steps as I possibly can in the morning before we do any like cleaning for the house or anything like that. That way I can have like a kind of like a head start on the steps. My doctor said that all I could do was walk for the first, at least first 3 to 4 days. Now this would be like day 7. That's what I figured that they were talking about the stock market, but I was like, why does it matter? Why are we saying that part? Just on me 2 by 7 for random people. I appreciate that. But are we losing connection, you guys? Feel free to say if the music is too loud or if the video's like glitching. Welcome in, chat. What are you guys doing today? Yes, we're gonna do this for a little. We're just warming up. We're seeing who's on YouTube right now. See if anybody wants to come and hang out with us. Or we're getting some stats. But then give a little bit of updates. I did update a little bit on Twitch. The connection is pretty steady here. It's decent. I feel like. Thank you guys for the like. What's going on, chat? What are you guys doing? Appreciate you guys for the light. Okay. We're just getting started. Yeah. I should have got my glasses, honestly. God. I think we also talked about it on Twitch if anybody was able to be there. But we had started at 173 for our starting rate. Hold on a second. Is this too loud? I feel like it's so loud I can't even think in the moment. But when I'm listening to the playback, I can't hear the music at all. So it's like a fucking video game simulation. Okay. Is that even enough? Whatever, man. I feel like I'm in fucking Mario Kart. But I'm not gonna change the music. Okay. But yeah. And our starting was 173. Right now we have weighed in at 165.4. So we're down 7.5 pounds, right? I think. And then because of the wisdom teeth removal, I wasn't able to actually get up to even a baseline calorie. So I was constantly in a deficit just this last 7 days, whether I wanted to be or not, because I had to just eat soft food or only chew on my left side for some of the days once it started to get better. And then yesterday was probably the first time I was able to eat like a real meal despite what it had in it. I still had to be cautious about keeping my mouth like clean after eating. And it was just kind of a struggle, really, a struggle to get up to calories um, and get enough protein. A lot of my sources for protein are in liquid form or soft. So that wasn't really the issue. It's just kind of getting that fiber intake up to par, at least 25 grams, 30 grams of fiber. That became a little harder because I just don't have a lot of sources that are like liquid fiber, basically. So, and I didn't want to just drink juice because I wanted to limit my sugar intake, like artificial sugar. So it is what it is. But I did manage to get at least a good enough amount of protein. And also, since I was on bed rest, I didn't have any caffeine because I figured, what's the point? I'm not being so productive with my body. So I took a break from the caffeine. Thankfully, I didn't have any headache withdrawal symptoms because I was already on ibuprofen for the inflammation from surgery. So I don't really know if that would have been the case had I not been also taking ibuprofen coincidentally on my break. And then, yeah, I was going to say something else, but I forgot already. So I forgot. But yeah, that's basically it. So today we're getting back to it. um, 2 days ago, I walked on the treadmill for 30 minutes, and the whole next day I woke up, I was in like not an exorbitant amount of pain. I feel like it was just throbbing from the workout itself. So I figured I'd take it easy on that. So I didn't. And then now just trying to get back up to 120 grams of protein, baseline 100 grams, ideally 116, and then trying to push to 120, 125. and then getting rid of all those muscle meals that are in my fridge that we already prepped. So try to finish those so I can make new ones. I had to put all of them in the freezer because I couldn't have any solid food. And my house is also a train wreck because I couldn't get up to clean for a week. So reset video coming. We're gonna do a clean video, and I'll see where I'm at in terms of energy after I clean today. I plan to get done by right now it's 11. I'll probably start around 12, right before I eat something or right after I eat something. So I stay until about maybe 4. Earliest would be 2 o'clock. It's not a whole lot, thankfully. Especially this week, especially this month. So it should go by pretty quick. What I was able to do during bed rest was mostly just edit and record. And we also recorded for the drink channel and stuff like that. So thankfully, that's getting out of the way. And then I think the only day that I did record for post surgery was day 4. And I figured you guys get the gist. I didn't think I needed to record every single day. But even then, that day, I couldn't even, I don't know, do what I'm doing in this moment now because also talking and moving my jaw just was, also an inhibitor. Partly why I couldn't get up to calories because sometimes eating would just be exhausting, even if it was soft enough foods or foods that I could at least eventually chew on my left side. So kind of why also I took a break for a little bit just because I just needed to rest. That 4th day was the first day that I felt like I could just at least move around the house a little bit more without feeling like super tired. So I know that the first 3 days I looked like a fucking truck. Literally square ass jaw, square as shit. I looked It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. I was so swollen. They took all 4 teeth out. Literally, it's so uncomfortable. So I was like, I'm not about to show all this. I'm not gonna show this. I just need to be at rest. I didn't want to, get stressed out. So that's tough. We needed that. We needed that to stop. Luckily, this isn't going so fast. Ugh, so getting off of it's easy, but imagine if it was really fast. Let's stop for a second. Let's have. Holy. Ugh. Oh, God. Oh, this must have been over for us, y'all. It was about to be over for me, bitch. It was about to be. Okay. I didn't want to have any caffeine during this time because I didn't want it to cause any inflammation. They also told me no spicy. I was about to lose my mind. Spice for me is like salt, so I don't know if anybody else feels that way. A lot of the time, it's kind of just like adds so much to my food. I'm just so used to having it, so I couldn't have anything hot. My food was just boring. It was boring. Mashed potatoes, protein shakes, smoothies. Couldn't even have the smoothie because it had strawberries. It was so acidic. It was burning my mouth. So no more smoothie. What else did I eat? Undercooked French fries at one point because I was like, oh, they're soft. Maybe I could try to have something salty like this. It wasn't even worth it. It wasn't even worth it. They were just no. I couldn't. And then because I couldn't really eat I ate so slow that by the time like 20 minutes hit, I'm already full and I've actually hardly eaten. And I was like, wow, this is the true effects. Like I always talk about it. Like wait 20 minutes, let your, the chemicals from your brain go to your stomach to actually register satiety and all those things. No, I couldn't help but eat slow. So it was actually really interesting. Also, rainbow sherbet. I had a lot of that. So fat-free rainbow sherbet. Well, of course, it's just sorbet, but you know, that's also what I ate. And I think I had probably like a third of the pint because it's like 3 servings in there. But even after that, I was like, I just don't even want this. It's just not, I want salt. Like, I want real food. That's just how I felt eventually. Yeah, so I'm glad that I can have regular food. We cooked steak on live on Twitch. Sorry, I keep trying to mix this up because I have protein settling at the bottom of the cup. We had steak on live. You can't even chew the ice. That was, I think, a couple days ago. And I was able to eat it, but it was just kind of like a pain to get all of the tidbits like out of my teeth. It was kind of like annoying. So I had leftovers. I didn't even try to eat them yesterday. But yeah, I'm just really glad to be back. I know, right, Ted? I almost ate shit. I almost fell off the treadmill. Appreciate you guys for the likes. But yeah, I haven't been able to stream on YouTube. I've been trying to like spend a lot of time on Twitch if I ever do have energy to stream. So, and I liked our last one. It was fun. We finally hit 25 follows for that account. So, although we couldn't really do the full Chef Boyardee thing, I was able to at least cook. No, we couldn't drink alcohol. Like, no, I couldn't have, maybe the most fun or like even energy wise to entertain. But I did have a good time, actually, a lot of fun. It felt good to be back in the kitchen and like making stuff with you guys. So we were saving that for being affiliate on Twitch. So it's kind of why we did it. And then I also just had steaks to cook coincidentally. We did a little bit of a workout. I think we walked on the treadmill that day. That was the day where I did 30 minutes of walking before we did that because I've just literally been horizontal all week. I haven't even been able to walk, even though the doctor said I could. It caused stress, bare minimum. I did it again. Oh my god! And this time the batteries came out. Oh my god! We're gonna break this remote. You guys, the batteries were shifted. I mean, not the batteries, the buttons. The buttons moved. That was scary. Okay. Wish we had pockets. So yeah. Then we also another update. Let's see. It is the 29th of March. We have this week and next week to get back up to our regular caloric intake. Hit our protein every single day, literally every single day. And this whole week, I'm just going to try my best to have as much whey protein as I possibly can, as I possibly can. And I'd say for the next 4 days, so today included. And then I'm going to completely stop having whey protein and just only have the pea protein in my pantry to make protein shakes and stuff like that. or to make sure that I hit my protein, it's usually with a shake. So, and I probably supplement about 50 grams here or there, 50 to 40 grams of protein just in powdered, dry powdered shake form, whatever. Um, for diets like this or for goals like this. So, only reason we're doing the next 4 days for the whey concentrate that I have, it does break me out with acne a lot. So I just want to wean off of it or completely cold turkey it right before my event, because otherwise, appreciate you guys for the like. Otherwise, I just break out profusely, or it takes a long time for the basically for it to like clear out of my system. Um, I was also reading that whey protein isolate is a lot better if you do struggle with the acne effects from the concentrated whey. So um, I'm gonna try that next. I literally have this 5 pound container of whey concentrate unflavored, and then I accidentally got another one delivered to the house. It's another 5 pound of the same exact kind, and I tried to return it. They didn't even let me. So I'm not complaining, but at the same time, it's kind of like, dang it, I wish I would have like knew I had it on subscribe for like delivery, because I would have got the isolate. It breaks me out terribly, but I also don't know if that will also be working better for me. I just know in general, dairy breaks me out, even cheese, yogurt, cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, all that, so, and I don't drink milk, so I don't think it'll actually work for me, but I'm willing to try anything. Because if I don't have dairy at all, my skin's clear. That's just me. So that's why we're only going to push for 4 days. It is just so nice to have, and it's convenient to have because of the fact that it's 25 grams of protein per scoop, and it's easy. And the pea protein only gives me 20 grams per scoop, so per serving. And I think it is also for each one, it's like about 110 to 120 grams of, or sorry, 120 calories, 110, that range for each serving also. So that's what's in the coffee today. That's kind of what holds me over just a little bit, just even for walking. If it wasn't this, if I wasn't having caffeine, I wasn't having protein, it would probably be like a banana or something. But um, yeah. And then that'll continue until, so today's the 29th, 30th, 31st, the 1st of April. No more whey. And also just in general, no more dairy. So no more cheese, um, no cottage cheese, nothing. Just so that way by the time I get to Coachella, my skin is clear. Is like the last 2 weeks, you guys. It's so important. So then sometime this week, if I don't get these appointments settled in my personal life, if I'm not successfully able to get these appointments taken care of, then I'm going to use that open time to take us to the fabric store. We have to get fabric. If anybody's been watching, especially on the other platform too, I always make my outfits for Coachella. It's just a way I like to save money. I also love to sew. They're most of the time passion projects, but at the same time, they're just like, that bit of inspiration that I get to have every year of like being able to make something so last minute. And I don't know if that's just me in terms of creativity, but even if it comes to just anything in fashion or me making an outfit for the day, sometimes my most last minute ones, the ones that I don't think about, you know, those are always the best outfits. The ones I always get the most compliments on, the ones you just don't overthink. And just as life and art, if you don't think about it, just trust yourself. It always comes out so good. That's just what's worked for me. So I'm not saying that's fact. I'm not saying that that is, what works for everybody. I just know that it's a way of thinking for me that I don't necessarily try to consciously subscribe to. I just know that's always been in my subconscious. It's just part of me. It's part of the ADHD. It's what makes me me. It's just me being like, oh shit, I forgot. I need to make an outfit. Oh fuck. And then I make something. But you can call it what you want. I just know that that's the pattern for me and it always comes out great and I love it. And I like the rush. I like that feeling. So I can't wait to take you guys there. We're going to have a lot of fun. I'm also just going to make a short video. Um, I'm thinking around like less than 30 seconds, just something like, just like a snippet. All of this is going to be saved. It's going to be produced. April is going to be great. It's just a great month for everything to come. I'm just happy about it. I can't wait to have more self expression whenever I make stuff. So, going to the fabric store is part of that. It's going to look really good. Appreciate you guys for the likes. Feel free to tell me, guys, what you're doing today. I'll be able to read the chat here and there. And I'll be able to get all the food the week before because I just don't want anything to spoil. So I'll also go through, we'll make another video of everything that I bought to eat, to use, to to utilize for camp, to set up my car camping in the best way possible. We did get upgraded passes for camping. We always camp, by the way. It's just our thing. We always camp. So it's kind of like at this point, our whole group feels the same way, where it's like, if I don't make the effort to at least do this aspect of Coachella, it doesn't ever feel like Coachella fully. It's part of being together. It's part of like kind of surviving together. It creates a bond when you go through something with somebody. So it deepens that bond. It makes it more fun. A lot of the laughs and the memories that we have is not just like the experience of the concert itself. It's usually participating at camp together or living together. So, I mean, truly, that's like the best part. So, kind of like to compare it to like going out of town with somebody. Sometimes it's the car ride, sometimes it's the pregame, whatever it is. It's not usually what you're doing together. So I'm glad everybody gets that in our group. So they did have a shitty time last time, though. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really, yeah, it was terrible. I had a terrible time. I also said I wasn't gonna go back, but the lineup always changes people's minds. But regardless, or who they add in last minute, or who cancels or whatnot, what they get a replacement for. So, and it was a nice gift as well. So I kind of had that off my plate, and I was like, whatever, fuck it, like I'll just go. And I would have been going for the past. This would be, let me see. So this would be my fourth year. Yeah. Yeah, fourth year in a row going now. So thankfully, we're not going to be using the regular general parking. We're going to be using like a preferred parking or like an upgraded parking. So I think they bought the tickets, so, and they gave me one. I paid them. So it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, I don't really know what it's going to be like, but I just know it's supposed to be a little better. I'll show you guys everything I take. And then I'll also show the camp setup because sometimes it just depends how many people you bring. I feel like really does change the experience for you because the more people there to contribute, it's just a better camp setup. Usually people have more to bring, they have more to contribute. The space gets bigger. Your ability to roam from each car space gets obviously bigger. There's more cars to have been parked in your group. So it's just decent. It's better. I think we might only have just a few people in our immediate group coming this year. Usually we have about 10 or 9 people. With their plus ones if they are bringing more people in their car. So it's usually a lot. This year, Might have another separate group of friends of ours come and meet us up at camp, and like we'll all park next to each other. So it'll probably be the same amount of people, just different people. But we'll have to see when we get there. I don't know. But thankfully the people that are gonna be there, they're kind, they're very fun and generous and easygoing. So I'm not opposed to it. I can't wait. Hold on, you guys. Let me check this. We spilled that coffee so many times. Okay. And I have to pee, so give me a second. I'm gonna take a pee. Let's see. I'll leave the music here for you guys. I'll be right back. Okay, back. Appreciate you guys for the likes. We don't have anybody dedicated yet. Everybody said, fuck that, I'm not waiting here. We'll drink the rest of our coffee. And it is just half a cup of coffee today so far to start. I have a story to tell you guys about that too, and in relevance to caffeine and coffee during this time. Um, 3 grams of creatine. I think it was a little more today. I think 3.5 to 4, and then which was an accident, and 20 grams of chocolate pea protein, and this is about 27 ounces altogether. So about 16 ounces of water in here, the rest ice. No, and then about I think another 2 ounces of water. So about 18 ounces of water total. And then I had about 16 ounces before the caffeine at all to mitigate dehydration, to mitigate headaches, um, lethargicness, anxiety. Get a little anxious if I just am depleted, but that's just the brain. So to avoid all of that, a little fucking water before I had any. Mm. It doesn't matter if it was just 1 cup of coffee. It doesn't matter if it's an espresso shot, any kind of caffeine, a sip of an energy drink. It doesn't matter. For me, I need 16 ounces of water, at least 8, never any less. So to avoid dehydration. And okay. I should have got my glasses while I'm wearing there. Reach a certain fitness goal. Yes, I do have a goal in mind. And then we did talk about it for a little bit. So if anybody really cares that much, they can rewatch the live if they wanted to. You'll probably have to skip through a bunch of bullshit. but I definitely did talk about it. The the goal is just recomposition and that's it. I mean, the ultimate goal, you know. We have that's what we're picking back up where I left off. I just went to the restroom, so that's all that really just happened in the last 10 minutes. Um yeah, so whey protein up into the 4th of April, the concentrated whey that I regret buying. And then pea protein from the 2nd up until and actually up through the 13th because I don't want to stop taking as much protein during this time because it really helps with my cravings. It helps with fullness for me, satiety, and I don't want to like fall off the ball because this whole week from surgery, I've already taken off from the day of surgery up until now, like not being able to hit protein because I was limited in what I could eat and consume. And, I didn't want to be constipated. I needed to get enough fiber. I didn't even have enough liquid fiber sources in my home personally during this. So I didn't get to hit enough of the protein. I might have got about 500 grams through the last 700 is crazy. The last 7 days. So obviously that's not enough. And in combination with not eating enough calories, I just don't want to go through that again where I take basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more days of, you know, not hitting those basic calorie and macro goals because I have another goal after that, which would be, let's see, it would be the 20th of June. Okay. And then, so between that last day, which would be 8th the 9th, is going to be our true weigh-in. It's going to be the actual measurement from my waist, my hips, okay? And that would be compare from October when we started this to now. And then, here, give it, granted, give and take, but not being in such now at this point, we've been in and out like a full cut. So this last 4 weeks, it's more extreme. We reduced our calories by 100 again. At the beginning, we only had decreased them for about 200 since October. And then for the beginning of March, another 100. And then keeping the protein the same. So that's the only thing I really changed. We'll take a week off. Well, I said 2 weeks last time. 2 weeks off from the 13th to the 20th. And at least from the 13th to the 18th or the 13th to the 19th, we'll just do our new maintenance calories from that goal that we reached by the 8th or the 9th of April. So that goal weight, whatever that weight is, it doesn't matter. Whatever that weigh-in is for the 8th of April, and then whatever measurements that we take, I'm going to recalculate what I'll need for maintenance, our new maintenance, especially with all the lifestyle things that we participate in. That obviously increases our maintenance a little bit. Not a lot, but at least a range of 200 calories at minimum. So, and I would say at most 400. So that's for a week of a deficit added on based on lifestyle. So, and I think a little more, but I just kind of give myself a low average. That way I don't overeat basically. Then we'll maintain for a week straight. Okay. I don't want any rebound and I don't want to be cutting for more than, you know, at this point, if I was cutting till June, bitch, I'd be cutting for fucking like 9 months. You know what I mean? What is that? October, November, December. And I bullshitted a lot in December. January, February, March, April, May, June. That's fucking 9 months. That'd be insane. So we gotta have some maintenance. We have to have our body come back up to a nice regulated state because being depleted for that long is just absolutely, it's absolutely unnecessary. So and granted, we did sprinkle in some, you know, cheat days, cheat meals once per week in the early stages of that. And then, of course, weeks where we just maintained throughout that since October until today, which is now March 29th. So, just because I wanted to be able to have a nice downward trend rather than just maintain and fully stop. Um, and since the deficit was so small, 100 to 150 calories, especially in the beginning, to then 200 calories to now 300 calories as a deficit. and that's just what worked for me. And based on how I eat, I was able to remain full and satisfied, you know, and also have a really nice new, I would say completely new and for certain perspective on like foods that I used to really want and like foods that I used to really like put on a pedestal even, or foods that I would call special, or foods that I would call treats, or cheat meals, whatever that category is. I know everybody has those meals or those items or those kinds of foods. And I've now come to this place, now being 9 months in. And I used to feel this way, but not to the most certainty that I do now about not feeling so emotionally tied to those things, those kinds of foods, which has really, really changed my experience this time around when it comes to diet, exercise, um, cravings, whatever it is, in relative speaking. So I know that sounds vague and jumbled, but just know things are working out. Like that's all I mean to say. Um, our break will take place by the 19th of April, and that'll just depend on how I feel. We're not going to just completely throw the protein and the macros out of the woodwork, but we are just going to eat as much to maintain that weight from the 8th of April. Then I'll see how I feel on the 19th, which is a Sunday. I'll see if I want to go another week of maintenance. Still doing the workouts. Nothing changes nothing changes besides the calories. Okay. We're just going back up to maintenance. If I still feel like doing that to the 25th, we will. But if not, from the 19th, we'll have one day. Then the 20th of April, which is my birthday, we'll start to cut up until the 20th of June. So that's, let's see, how many weeks is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 weeks. Beautiful. Beautiful. I love that. And if it was 12, would love that. But I need to give myself a break. It's just good for the mind. It's good for, despite how I'm speaking, for anything subconscious that I might be craving or wanted, or if I might have suppressed some bullshit, you know what I mean? So I don't want there to be a rebound state. That's why I'm just giving myself an opportunity to not give a flying fuck and just focus on my macros that in that break time. And then we'll have a new series or a new segment that you guys hang out with me with, and we're gonna do that till 20th of June. And then after the 20th of June, we'll just maintain the physique, and then they'll just keep building from there until I plateau basically and just take you along with me. But that's basically the overarching goal is June 20th. So that's it, really. Oh, I was supposed to read a comment. Recomposition. I've never heard that word before. Can you briefly define what that means? um, losing fat while maintaining or gaining muscle, even at the same exact time. That's all. um, but like I said, even on that maintenance part, just side note, even on that maintenance part, we're still going to hit the calories. We're still going to hit, you know, I mean, the macros specifically. The only thing that'll really alter once we get off of there will be the calories again. Protein stays the same, and it might increase a little bit if I can handle it, if I can make it fit into the, day. Then really dial in for fat, tweak the macros for fat, and then that's it. And just within this last week after, sorry, my explanation got finished for that question a long time ago, so I just kept talking. Sorry, I didn't mean to say when I stopped, but yeah, that's what it means. So to add, we have from the 5th to, and I would even say from the, here, let's see, from the 4th until the 8th or the 9th, no carbs. Okay. That's only just for that 1 week. I don't think that you guys should not be eating carbs. That's just what I like to do to get rid of a lot of the fullness, to look as lean as possible, to sort of get rid of any excess water retention. Usually it hangs on to carbs. So that's just for an aesthetic. It's not something that I would just say, cut out completely. Your brain needs carbs. If you want energy for your workouts, if you want energy for your lifts, if you're doing, you know, high volume days, you need some carbs, You're going to need energy. That's literally mandatory, you know. I wouldn't remove them completely. What kind of carbs? Yeah, then I'd have criticism, but, you know, something that has, for whatever your carb intake is, something with a lot of protein. I mean, that'd be a nice benefit, but a lot of fiber specifically, something that has more of a complex micro and macro incorporation to whatever you're eating, like especially like for breads and stuff like that. Breads, pastas, look for stuff that has high fiber, that has some protein, some trace protein, some vitamins, something in there, because it really helps with when eating. You actually get a nice satisfaction, be registered maybe more often and sooner, rather than if you had just regular pasta, enriched flour, you know, just gluttonous food, pizza, burgers, from wherever you're buying it from. I doubt it's a health place. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna have junk, like just think of, if you were to have those cravings at home, try to find those components where there's carbs that are there in those meals that have better macros and are more complex than just simple carbs with just sugar and carbs. Basically, that's probably all the nutrition in there. It's just carbohydrates and sugar. That's probably what they're serving you at In and Out. That's probably what they serve you at Taco Bell. I don't think they're going to give you the best of the best. So just pay attention to labels. um Obviously I'll have some degree of carbs because I'll be eating yogurt, up until that last week, all these things. And then unless it's vegetables, unless it's something with fiber. Okay, but just plain wheat, I won't be having it. For me specifically, because I have plaque psoriasis. So usually wheat breaks me out. No beer, no tortillas, unfortunately. No bread, no pasta. I could do gluten free, but I don't care. I just don't care personally. Some people need it, they need to keep those things they love. And a lot of the time I don't care about it. And thankfully, at this point in my journey, I don't really give so much of a fuck about, you know, what I'm eating. Um, the only time I truly crave now at this point after 9 months is just like when I'm on my period, when the hormones are uncontrollable, or like, that's like overriding any like logic basically that I've set up for my life. So yeah, then I'll have some sweets and, whatever I can have that won't, you know, inflame my skin from the psoriasis and something that won't constipate me, like, just only having dairy. So, because I am lactose intolerant, it's usually either that or gas bloating, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, so that's our update. Let me read. Creepy. Shouldn't have read that. Let's see. Uh, we have 4 days. And I think right now we already have, let's total it. Let's calculate it. I have a few. Um, oh, I don't think this is actually working. Never mind. It might not work. Oh no, it does. Okay. Let's stop for a second. Okay. Did I restart it? I think I did. That's tough. I just cleared all that fucking progress that I wrote down or that was on. This machine's so nice because it kind of just shows you like the amount of time that you've been on, the speed you're at. It shows calorie burn, but I never trust that. Um, and I think distance as well, which is cool. But I cleared everything on there. I just turned it off, so it just erased everything that it would have showed me. So, but I did have my phone in my hand the whole time. So let's see how many steps we took. God damn it. I swear to fuck. Did this not even. We might not have tracked any of that with this phone. We might not have. Fuck. Oh no, it did. It did. Well, that's weird. Even if I don't have it on, it'll still save the data. That's kind of funny. Well, there goes my privacy. Um, okay, for the day. And today it was from 11 to 12 that we walked. How many hours? Yeah, it's exactly 56 minutes. So 2,258 steps so far before I've even started the day. And it's 12 o'clock now. Granted, I could have did this hours before, but I was trying to record for YouTube, YouTube shorts, routine videos. They're just like parts of my day. Had I not done anything for YouTube, then we would have started at 9 o'clock. You know what I mean? I also took a shower. Also got ready for camera just a little. So yeah, that's about average time we'd start if we were doing social media that day. The 2K, 2.2K already. And so think about, okay, let's think about like if I was to be cleaning. I know that the last time I cleaned, I didn't have my phone on me the whole entire time to track, but it was about 2 hours, 48 minutes. I know for that whole entire day, when I did have my phone in my hands, I got about 4.6K or something like that. If I had had my phone in my hand, I wouldn't doubt that it probably would be another, 2,000 to 4,000 steps. Um, Especially since now we just tracked for an hour. Um, we could probably subtract about 10 minutes, but 2K in an hour, 2 point something, was it 2.5? Let me see again. 2.6, so almost 3K. So then our average would probably be, 4,000 or 5,000, what? My brain fucking stopped working. Well, you get it. Sorry. My bad, dude. ADHD. As soon as you're ready to focus, it just goes blank up here. Black. That's all I see. It's blank. Empty. Even if I'm so ready to concentrate, it'll just happen. So sorry. Um, yeah. 2.6 every, hour, 4 plus, and that's another 1,000, and then you have 2.52 roughly. So I mean, granted, I was probably standing in one spot scrubbing, so we could probably just make it an average of 4, you know. So I doubt I'm going to be walking treadmill style cleaning my house. It's just really, you have to really compare it. So I would say that would be for the rest of the day. I can say it, I could probably get to 10K if I had another session where I was walking in here steady. Average day could probably be 8K, and just trying to keep the steps up because we are getting off of surgery. So um, I don't want to inflame the area that's trying to recover. I don't want to just do Pilates and then set myself back in terms of recovery for this because I just want to eat real food already. So, yeah, that's our update. I'm gonna get cleaning now. I'm gonna turn the camera off. We're gonna record that for a reset vlog. So take care of your guys' selves. Get rest, whatever the case can be. Have a good day. See y'all. Be easy. Bye.